see now, you done fucked up, you know that, don't you? See what I'm saying?
I thought...
No, so, you know what I'm saying? That you done fucked up now, you know that, don't you?
When I tell you it's not looking good for Terrion Arnold, I definitely mean that. And this is the reason why. He was just released today or yesterday, depending on when you're seeing this video. He was released indefinitely by Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions today because he is facing life in prison for literally kidnapping people and robbing them. This is not a joke. This is definitely real. And if you do not think that this is real, let's go ahead and get into the story. It's your boy Sergey After Dark. This is my series talking about football or any other type of things like that. Let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? Let's go ahead and get into it. Basically, it says the case enters on what happened after Arnold and others had property stolen at their Airbnb in Largo, Florida. Around 25 miles west of Tampa, Arnold's stolen property was valued around $245,000 according to court records. What was it in despite of Monday that Arnold suspected two associates, a hired driver named Jan Lopez and a barber friend named Danny Teniscara. I might be butchering the name because it is a difficult name. Stole the items, and Arnold wanted to confront them about it. The episode ended according to police when Lopez and a third friend being lured into Tampa's apartment where they were beaten, pistol whipped, and robbed. One allegedly had at gunpoint in his mouth. You, sir, are a wild motherfucker to sit there and do that and thinking that nobody was going to even get back at that. And in case you don't believe me, here's the New York Times article that came out about this. So I'm definitely reading from this on another screen. So if I don't post this along with it, that's the reason why. But I can definitely do that after, reading the article. I can post it like this. But you get exactly what I'm saying. As it was said inside of the New York Times article, he was en route. He was not inside of the apartment when the shit went down. He was on his way. Keep that in mind. It says this: although Arnold wasn't inside the apartment, he was allegedly en route from Tallahassee when the incident began. The prosecution described him as the general manager of this scheme. It was Arnold's idea to use Jasmine Rosado to entice with sexual encounters and to do so somewhere than a hotel where there were surveillance cameras. So he did plan this shit out because as he tried to get these men lured inside of his Airbnb and basically do all this shit. And this nigga from Colorado, this man Harvey Steinberg, he said, and I quote, argued that any role Arnold had in this event was much more limited. Who was a long history representing professional athletes, said that there is no evidence of Arnold did anything beyond suspecting that Lopez stole the items from the Airbnb. None of the text messages shown during the hearing were from Arnold. Arnold, wearing a red uniform, said inmate on the front at Hillsborough County Jail. On the back, said little during the hearing. He fidgeted at times and acknowledged the thumbs up from a family member sitting in the first 3 rows. Arnold embraced his attorney after ruling. So right now, let's go ahead and pause exactly what this article is saying. Basically what they gave him, he's able to still go to practices, he's still able to go and do things like that, but I haven't gotten to that portion of the article yet. And this, if you want to go ahead and read, I'm going to post it right now. He is still claiming that he's innocent inside this situation, but we don't know that for certain, especially with all the evidence that's pointing directly to him. Mind you, he is facing life if he is convicted of these charges.
You know you done fucked up, right?
No! I said no! I said...
That's what the scary part about this entire situation is. And that's where we already know that he's not playing with the Lions. They released that article about 7 hours ago. They made their statement and made the league a statement and things like that because he is facing those criminal charges. He's not practicing, but I think he is out on probation. But as you can see with this article, if you can read it right behind me, you can get a little bit more. You can pause the video and then continue onto it. Here's another thing when it comes to that story. 2 of the 6 co-defendants, Rosado and Ariana Del Valle, pleaded guilty last week for the 3 counts of kidnapping, the 3 counts of robbery with a firearm, the conspiracy to commit kidnapping, and conspiracy to commit robbery with a firearm. And the court documents that are also been shown inside that are linked inside of this article. Rosado, whatever her name is, 19, agreed to spend 4 years in a Florida state prison with 6 years of probation for her testimony. According to the plea argument she signed last week, that's exactly what she's getting. So she's already going up state, and she's serving her time. The Lions released a statement last week acknowledging that the legal situation regarded Terrion Arnold, but declined to make a comment out of respect for the ongoing legal process. Arnold started 15 games in his rookie season, but injuries limited him to 8 games last season. And that's really ending that entire, storyline with that. Now, this portion of the video is going to me basically giving my entire rant of this situation. I love the fact that our man, Dan Campbell, he came out and he was in support for him at the moment. Because if he told him the truth at first, I guarantee you he would have been a little bit more lenient. But as you can now tell, the Lions organization has moved away from him. Because they don't have confidence and they don't have faith inside of him. And you know how these cases can get. It's going to get messy. And there's no reason to keep a guy on the roster if you have problems like this going off of the field. He said he was a good kid. He said he was a good player. And, injuries and things like that. He was a vital piece of that defense. But as you can see, nobody wants him now. And that's what kind of the situation is where it's led off to. If you personally got robbed of $245,000 worth of your thing, you would want to get the men who took your shit too. Nobody is arguing that. But what we are arguing the fact of is that, sir, how you went about it was completely wrong. You should have did the only thing that in a situation of you being a multimillionaire and the generational wealth that you were building for your family, you should have went after the people that were part of that Airbnb, and you should have sued. And then the investigation could have gone forward with it exactly how we would have went through the legal process. Now you're about to be facing life in prison for a crime that you personally are. And then you have to understand that when it comes to us seeing how the NFL operates, they don't want their hands around a situation like this. So the Lions already distancing themselves with him. If he even is found innocent inside this, he had nothing to do with this, sir, you still are not going to be able to play for a team because this is a controversy that a lot of guys can't come from and then come straight back into the league. You know, and it's sad because he was very talented. Looking at his stats from last season in those 8 games that he played phenomenally. Had a couple of interceptions, had some great, decent tackles. Like, I'm not even going to lie to you. He was a very much vital piece of that defense, and him going into his second year would have definitely been a contributing factor to the Lions. They just lost out on a generational corner, and this corner decided to make a very bad decision. But I do want to ask you guys this question. If you were a GM, what would you do in this situation? I know what I would do if I was a GM or a coach inside this situation. I would definitely see how this court case plays out. And then if he actually is found innocent, we need to make sure that this player is inside of a great position in order for him to not get in trouble and not be associated with these people that have committed this crime. Because at the end of the day, you still are on contract and you are still a key player on this team. And we need you to have the ability to have success on and off the field when you have situations like this. And I feel extremely bad for the people that are involved in this. But gang, if you stole that shit, you stole that shit. What I don't agree with is that them getting pistol whipped and them getting beat and all this other stuff where it does not make any sense that you, sir, are now an accomplice to these crimes. Let me read off those crimes again, shall we? We have conspiracy of kidnapping, committed kidnapping with a firearm, robbery, and you also are facing, what's it called? These crimes, man. This is not good. This is not good. Even if you were to be released and you weren't convicted of these crimes, sir, this is not a good look for you. If you are genuinely, because I went to your Twitter and I saw you have child of God inside of your profile, sir, how is this being a child of God? This is not something that you can just proclaim and you're out here pulling stunts like this. Your life is in jeopardy. Your family is in jeopardy because you decided to make a boneheaded decision on you going ahead and committing a crime that you could have sat there and avoided and did it the legal route. But you decided to do it the illegal route. You decided to do this gangster shit. I read your story, man. I seen your Twitter of you being in high school, doing one-on-ones. I seen you doing stuff that I can genuinely say you were a good person. But because you decided to make a split decision in a split second, your life is going to end if you are convicted. If he comes through out of this situation, which I hope he does, because do I believe in eye for an eye? Absolutely. You steal something from me, I should steal something from you. And I know that's not Christian-like for me to say that thing, but it's definitely the flesh that's telling you, if you come in my shit and you rob me for $245,000 worth of property, you gotta go ahead and see me for it, man. And that's what I don't understand when it comes to people that do these type of things. But let me ask the world this question. How do you guys feel about the Terrion Arnold situation, and how would you handle this situation? It's your boy, Sir J at night, and I'm going to be out. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, hype the video up. This is going on all platforms, from the Twitter to the Instagram to the TikTok to the YouTube. Everywhere that I can post this video will be out, and I genuinely would love your feedback on all of this if you stay to watch the complete ending. And without that being said, thank you guys, and I'm out.